Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're here reacting to a video that was done, well, a GMB video that was surrounding around, the Meghan Markle issue. I did another video where I spoke about Piers Morgan walking out, and now we're going to talk about the kind of conversation that actually led up to that as well. This will literally be me just reacting to the whole video. It's probably about 14 minutes long. I might interject in between parts, but yeah, guys, we're just going to have a bit of fun with it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of more uploads like this. Rah, I forgot my own line. You know when you just it goes to your brain and you forget your lines, bro? You know the ones we had a mind block thing. You understand? Anyway, guys, listen, man. If you know your attorneys, man, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, stay hydrated. Let's talk about it. Let me bring my thing on the screen. And let's have a little watch of this particular video. Okay, let's get it popping.
Because that's important.
Of finding a different way to explain, not to you, but to so many people, on why what is being said is so wrong.
Right.
I've walked into institutions as the only person of colour and experienced covert and overt racism on so many occasions. And why the Meghan interview really resonates with me is because an ex-work colleague, not of this show, asked me if I was worried about the shade of cocoa that my son was going to come out.
Right.
See, this is the kind of madness I'm talking about, right? Now, listen, I'm sure Alex probably never has heard anything overt from Piers, but let's keep it 100% true, bro. When you saw the interview of Piers going on Meghan, you felt that. You felt the little shade that he was bringing, and you felt that was some covert racism, just slight. But you can't say it because you work with a current colleague, and we understand that. Can't call it out like that on the thing. You have to play smart. You have to understand, and I rock with that. When we're in business, we have to play smart. We cannot be the aggressors in such a sense, in such a way. We have to be strategic and smart about how we call out certain things. But let's keep it 100 and trail real. We know that during the interview that he was coming off a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? But I rock with you, man. Like, we've experienced that kind of covert racism. Go for it, bro.
So I fully understand the hurt that is behind all of that.
Right. Let me ask.
And when you're mixed race, what you find, in my personal experience, and there may be other people that may come forward and say this, is that when you are a lighter shade of black, people gain confidence and feel that they can say things to you that they wouldn't say to a black person.
That's such an interesting point.
And that is my experience of all of this.
Right.
And
by the way, I completely.
Do you know what? It's kind of mad that he said that point. I didn't fully consider that aspect of things as well. You know me on this channel, we like to consider all aspects and really get an understanding of people's viewpoints. And that point is really powerful, that white people can feel a certain type of way, that they feel confident enough to say it to them, a certain thing, because they know that maybe they're not of the darker hue, to kind of confuse them. They basically pass almost, I wouldn't say pass as white, but they're mixed race, they're multi-ethnic, and their skin tone isn't the dark brown. So it's like, we're not really being racist. We're just kind of telling you, you're kind of like one of us, but you're not. You understand? At the same time, like, you're kind of one of us, but you're not. And they say certain things like that. I mean, I can't knock it. Like, that's his experience, and maybe other people have experienced that as well. I would love to hear if you have that same experience. Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts as well. Maybe if also you being of a lighter hue or even mixed race or biracial, you've experienced something like this. Because I think as black people, we need to be able to be more open around these conversations and not make it so one track. Yeah, I know we dark skins out here get done dirty, but we have to understand that someone being mixed race or biracial, or even someone of a lighter hue, can also you know, could have a different experience of being black in the eyes of a white person. All right, let's go on.
You respect that, right? And that's why I wanted to get you on the program today. It was my suggestion to have you on to talk.
Knowing that he is pissed, you can tell, bruv. Man is frustrated. Look at the body language, bruv. Man's body language is telling me everything I need to know. He's frustrated. He's done out here, guys.
Talk about this.
But Piers,
right?
and thank you so much for having me on the programme. I really appreciate it. But I just want you also to be aware of the power of your words. And I'm not saying that you're a racist, but what I do...
What are you saying?
Do you know what I honestly feel? I feel as though because of your previous relationship with Meghan Markle, you've sometimes...
I didn't have a relationship with Meghan Markle.
But you met up with her, you knew her.
I knew her briefly.
Right, so
I love the fact he said, listen, do you want my honest opinion? When us black people get to a point where we're fully done, blood, man's body language is like, do you know what? Frick it, do you want it? Do you want the truth straight? Because I'm about to give you straight, no chaser, baby. You know what I'm saying? I will give it to you hardcore, okay? Like, man was ready to do business, like... And one thing again he pointed out was that, you know, with Piers, his whole feelings about Meghan Markle and his relationship, and honestly, he did feel a certain way. Like he did feel a certain type of way. I put it in my other review. You know what I'm saying? And look how he's trying to deny it now. I never had a relationship with Meghan Markle. Ooh, sir, don't let me pull up the receipts. Don't let me pull up the receipts when you were telling me that you had a relationship with her and she ditched you. Don't let me pull up the receipts, sir.
We've joked about it on the show.
All that did was
Piers.
I'm allowed to speak.
Okay, talk.
All that did was inform me that she's a bit of a cut and run.
Right.
Throughout her life,
and
all her family, her father,
yes.
her ex-husband, her ex-friends, they've all been cut out of her life, right? And it's an interesting observation that I happen to be one of those people.
An interesting observation.
See again, he thinks he's smart, Piers. You ain't smart. Listen, you just went from I didn't have a relationship with her to now being... It's interesting that obviously all the people that in her life that she had, obviously she's cut them out. And it's interesting that I was one of them. Well, you couldn't be cut out if you never had a relationship, sir. If you never had a relationship, you can't be cut out. How are you cut out? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to spin me, bro. You're not going to spin me. Not on this channel, baby. Okay? I mean, Piers, I'm waiting for you to call me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for you to call me up to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to drop in a few bars for you, okay? All right.
I do feel
right, can I finish
this situation that you are struggling...
Guys, if we're going to have this conversation...
You've got to let me talk.
Talk.
Right.
See, and this is what I said about Susan being an enabler in my other video. Look, why is it when Piers is deciding to interrupt him now, yeah? You got that boss. Guys, we're going to have this conversation. But now he has to surrender it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me not say too much. I'm going to get vexed.
Can we talk about the programme? It doesn't really matter what I think of Meghan Markle. It doesn't matter whether I believe her or not. What matters is the damage that she is accused of doing to the royal family. And let me ask you honestly, on the issue of race, she has now got the whole of America and the worst of the world, frankly, looking upon the palace, the monarchy, the Queen, everyone in the royal family.
Can I just say something as well? Why is it the whole axe falls upon her head? Why is it that she's done this? So what? Harry ain't done this. No, Harry ain't married. Harry's married to himself. Meghan pulled a fast one and dragged the whole prince out of position that didn't want to be pulled out of position. Listen, that's like the same excuse when people say that. Listen, when people cheat and stuff. Like, look. The honest truth is this: you wanted to cheat. No one pulled you out of position. You pulled yourself out of position. You understand? Desire starts within yourself, bro. Like, why you gotta blame Meghan for this whole thing, bro? That's what I say about the racism. Because when it's the white boy, and I love Harry, by the way, so I'm saying white boy in a sense. When it's the white boy in a sense, you don't want to say anything, bro. Right? This is what I'm talking about. You don't say anything, but you want to blame Meghan for how the monarchy is looking. You want to blame her for that, bruv. You look bad before this, bro. I ain't done nothing new.
As a bunch of racists. And it all comes down to two things that she said in the interview. One is something she didn't hear, but Harry reported back to her.
Right.
So pause. No, pause. Pause the frick out. So why is she getting the blame for reporting something that Harry himself said to her? What do you want her to do? I don't understand. What do you want the girl to do? The girl is responding to something that got told to her by Harry, not another black person, not an outsider of Windsor, not an estranged family member, but Harry, the son, the prince, okay, of Charles, a prince, right? If you want to call it that, right? He went back and told his own girl, someone made a comment about skin tone, which it wasn't the Queen and it wasn't Philip. So it only leaves Charles and it only leaves William and all their wives, right? And I think it's probably William, and I bet Charles probably backed it. And, you know, because the way that Harry's kind of separated from William. So for me, how are you trying to put the ladle blame on Meghan for reporting and saying this thing that Harry told her? Bruv, it's mad. It's mad, you know. You want to blame me for one of your own telling me that one of you is racist. One of you is racist, and you want to blame me for that. That in itself is what I call about racism. But anyway, let's continue.
The senior member of the royal family that wasn't the Queen or Prince Philip, so presumably is either Charles or William, we would hazard a guess, has made a comment to Harry about what colour skin his baby may be if the relationship progresses.
Okay, but there was concern about the way in which that question was asked.
That's my question for you. She said there was concern. Harry didn't say that. And my...
Get the frick out of here, blood. Are you okay or are you okay, Piers? No. I want you to just... Are you okay or are you okay? See, I want to play a clip for you as well. I want to get it out, okay? Because this is what I'm talking about in terms of white people don't understand racism. Clearly not. Because, and I'm not saying all white people, but here Piers does not understand racism. Because clearly, sir, it's not a comment that can be taken any other way. If you're concerned about the skin tone of the child, I wonder what color the skin tone is going to... Listen, as a black person, do I ask what skin tone they're going to be? Even when I see a black person dating a white person, I don't ask the question, I wonder what skin tone the child's going to be. I don't ask those questions. Do you know why? Because it's not important. But for white people, it is. Those especially who are supremacists, it is important to them because they do not like the fact that black has been involved in. A little drop spoils the little perfection that they have. So now you're telling me that you wanna inquire whether it's really a problem. Let me bring a clip to you guys. I need to play a clip to you guys. You know, oh man, let me play a clip for you guys, okay? I want to play a clip for you guys. I know I'm gonna come back to this in a second, yeah. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna reword it, but I just need to bring you to this clip, okay? Yeah, let me bring you to this clip. Okay, cool. Just this little part here, just this little bit. So listen. I just realized something, guys. You can't hear, can you? You can't hear it. I just realized you can't hear it because I didn't put it on the screen. Okay, cool. We'll play it after. Anyway, let's continue the video.
Question for you is this, and it's a straight question I think a lot of people are asking. Because you've been in this position, right? And you've been equally offended.
On the receiving end of that
question. Is there a qualitative difference between somebody perhaps innocently saying to you, out of interest, if you have one parent is white, one parent is black, you know, what colour could your baby be? Let me finish. What colour could your baby be? Is there a difference between that question phrased in that innocent, perhaps, way, and somebody doing it in a tone that says, well, how dark is your baby going to be? Well, I think, in a derogatory, perhaps racist tone.
Exactly, and there is a difference. But what we're getting from the interview is that it was said in a negative way.
She said that, but he didn't, did he?
Listen, stop separating Harry and Meghan. They are a team, quite clearly. Yeah. A very strong team. And I do believe that she...
See what Piers is trying to do? Piers is trying to separate Harry from Meghan. Brother, why? To make his point. He wants to make it clear that Meghan is the one that's leading this whole charge. Did Meghan bring the information to herself? Did she bring the information to herself, or did the information come from Harry? So the question is, who is a messenger? And how did they message the message? How did they deliver the message? Clearly, Harry, and if you watch the interview, Harry says, I had to unlearn these biases. I didn't realize until I've dated Meghan Markle that these things are issues. See, no one, listen, let me be frank with you. No one ever asks outright to somebody, I wonder what color the child is going to be. I don't ask that question, bruv. I've never thought to myself, white person, black person, I wonder what color the child's going to be. I wonder if they're going to be mulatto or they're going to be dark brown, or they're going to be light. I don't think that question. Like, when Archie came out, my first question wasn't, I wonder what skin tone is going to be. I don't care, blood. See, skin tone is really important to those who use it as a weapon to segregate and to downtrod others. Because the establishment of the monarchy and its empire and its Commonwealth, okay, and the colonization is based upon race and are based upon superiority. Color is important, yes, to you. And what you don't realize, Piers, is that you've been indoctrinated with this, and you're now spewing that out as, is there a difference between asking a question about whether the race... You shouldn't ask that question in the first place. It should never come across your mind, but it does because you've been ingrained into a society that speaks about superiority based on colour, and there's a glass ceiling, especially in the UK, when it comes to colour. Simple as.
He backs him up, and he backed her up.
Yeah. Right.
So, and like I said, tone and language is everything.
But is there a difference? Okay, but let me ask you, Alex,
on that point, the key word was, are you worried?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But that to me is racist.
And there's a big difference.
That to me is racist.
But that's what she reports.
racist.
Do you think it's racist? It's a legitimate question many people have asked. Is it racist, you think, if for argument's sake it was William or Charles? Let's not put a name to this person. We don't know. And part of the problem, and I know you agree with me about this, it'd be easier if they just said who it was.
Right.
Right? I'll come to that. But is there a difference? If it was said, perhaps in all innocence, right, and they just said, oh, what colour baby might you have, without any suggestion of it being...
There's no need to ask this question. Like, I don't think he. And I need Alex to get on him, but for this, because there is no need to ever ask this question. What color would a child be? There's no need, because what difference does it make? No, what difference does it make? Like, yo, listen. If I had sex with a white woman and we had a child, I am not about to be concerned. Because as far as I'm concerned, okay, I'm not worried about what colour the child's going to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, all I'm thinking about is the fact that I've got a child, a beautiful child at that. So skin tone is coming in, like I said, because of supremacy. You know what I'm saying?
A concern or a worry if it had darker skin. Would that in itself, would just the question be racist?
That in itself is fine, but you have to think about how it feels on the receiving end, because what we're speculating is as to how that message...
Yeah, I don't know how it was communicated.
Right,
what I would say to you is, if it was done as a worry or concern...
No, so why are you defending it? If you don't know how it was delivered, you can only go on what they have said. Do you understand? You can only go on what they've said, so why are you trying to dispute that? Again, I think Alex has been soft to him. I would have told him, listen, it's outright out of bounds. You don't need to ask it.
Have to take into consideration how it felt. The other thing that we also have to think about, and I have publicly said this on Twitter, Piers, I agree with you now that I feel that they should have named the person, because all it's led to is all of us asking loads of questions. And I personally am looking at the royal family as to which one could
Who's the racist, yeah.
Who's the racist? But again, we have to also just take a step back. Do you know how much courage it takes to actually speak about racism, to actually call it out? Because I've been in situations where I haven't called out every single bit of racism that's happened to me based on how I've been treated or how it was handled in the past.
Because you're worried about a backlash.
And you're also worried about a backlash. And there will be people that will treat Harry and Meghan differently because they've spoken out.
OK.
But this is the whole thing. We've got to get comfortable talking about the uncomfortable. And that's why it's important for me and you to have this conversation.
Right, but let's just not make it personal. It's fine.
It's not...
You made it personal. But let's move on.
You see, when it gets to talking about his behaviours, the brother just starts to go back, bruv. He's all moving mad, bruv. Listen, at the end of the day, bro, we've got to be uncomfortable. Like the brother said, be uncomfortable to have uncomfortable situations. It's that simple, right? But the mere fact is, he didn't even mention anything. He said, let's stop making it personal. What did he say? I didn't even know he made it personal. He just said, obviously, that's why me and you got to have these conversations. Do you understand? So that tells me that there's probably been some conversations in the background that Piers knows that he has moved mad, which is why it would make sense as to later on, when he has a conversation, he walks out of the studio. Because, you know, when you're guilty, this is how you behave, baby.
Because,
Alex,
you know what, we talk personally about, you know, people on this show, and we give our opinions on them, don't we? So, actually, sometimes it does come back at you. We have to be, you know...
It's fine. It's just the way it was done. We can disagree about that. Let's move on. Well, it's fine. I don't think people really care too much about you and me anymore. It's like...
See, now what he's done is he's dismissed the guy's point. Do you see how his head went down? Dismissive. This is what they do, right? This is what they do. White supremacy, this is what it does. It dismisses your claims as being, it's not important. They don't really care about our personal. Who said that? You don't care. I care. So I'm about to talk about it. But now, because you don't want to talk about it, you don't feel that it's important, you're now shutting me down. That's what's happened here. Right? So if you're a white person watching this, let me be very frank with you. When you start being dismissive of my claims about racism, I'm trying to tell you about yourself and educate you. I'm even being nice. I'm educating you. And you are now dismissing it?
It's not about me and you, and I'm not here because...
Well, let's not talk about me and you then. Let's move on to the second part of their charge of racism.
That was rude.
Meghan Markle said that there was a decision taken by the palace to stop Archie being a prince based on his potential skin colour. That is completely untrue. That's just not true. Now, the damaging effect of that, plus whatever may have been said to Harry, and we don't know what it was or the context, and we don't know who said it, but it was those two things have detonated, as you know, a racially charged bomb at the palace, which is almost impossible for them to refute because they don't talk in public about this kind of thing. And people aren't probably going to believe them even if they do now. But
We're not.
That's what concerns me.
We're not, because we know that the royal family lie in bed with the press, and the press were out here doing dirts on Meghan's name. So, of course, I'm not going to believe the royal family. Why would I, when you lie in bed with the person who does these things and don't call them out because you're scared of being called out yourself or you're scared of losing your power? I don't rock with them kind of people there. How can I? How can I believe what you're going to say if you are lying in bed with the very person that would want to hurt Meghan Markle, the person who's in your family now, and you lie and you keep quiet because you're scared of your role and you're scared of your establishment being taken away from you? How can I believe whatever you say? I'm not going to believe anything you're going to say. Never going to believe it.
Is that the first part of that allegation, we don't know any of the details or who said it or how they said it, and the second one is completely untrue. Meghan just got it wrong. Archie hasn't been prevented from being a prince because of his skin colour, and that's been now believed by Americans on national television there, and that is damaging.
But again, do you know what? It's their lived experience. And
no, it's not true.
Well, look, Piers, it's their lived experience. And again, this is where the confusion comes in. You know, how do you sometimes identify covert racism? It's actually quite hard because it's not there for
But
you
Alex, on that one, it's not true.
I know,
There's no covert racism.
But Piers, what you're saying is there are facts.
Right.
And what Alex is saying is there is an experience and a perception of those facts that you only appreciate when you're in that situation.
No, I'm sorry. On that second part, on the first part, I agree. If it turns out, let me make it crystal clear where I stand on this. If it turns out that a senior member of the royal family, a future king perhaps of this country, we don't know who it is. I don't want to cast... The aspersions are being cast because they won't say. But they have eliminated the Queen and Prince Philip. So they've gone halfway, which I think is incredibly unfair on the ones who are left. But say it is a future king that said this in a derogatory way. We can't have a racist king.
We can't.
So that, to me, would be racism. If it was said derogatory. But the second part of the charge, that Archie has been banned from being a prince because of his skin colour, is just untrue. It's nothing to do with racism. The fact itself on which he's based that claim is not true.
Except her perception appears to be that it might have been...
Well, it's like me saying the sky's blue outside. My perception is it's raining. You can't muck around with facts. She got the facts wrong on that. It's been demonstrated today in every paper that fact is simply untrue. There's been no discrimination against Archie in terms of being called a prince because of his skin colour, because he's not entitled at the moment to be called a prince. Just the rules of the palace set 100 years ago.
She's explaining her experience.
Exactly, she's explaining her experience of it. And do you know what? We've not walked in her shoes, so I wouldn't...
I don't care what your experience is. If the facts you're basing it on is wrong.
You're still entitled to perception. You know,
not about a fact or not.
And that's also coming through...
Okay, so I don't know if the fact is true, whether how the prince protocol works. I can understand why Meghan may have felt it was a colour issue, because maybe some other things have been said and maybe some other things have longed it out. But I don't know the full protocol parts of it being him being a prince. And again, Harry would have been there to be able to deny or to uphold that. And I would have thought that she would have double-checked with Harry as well, and Harry would have double-checked with her as well. Make sure what they're saying is coherent. So I'm not sure on the facts of that. I would say if it is wrong, let's rescind that. If it is right, let's also uphold that. You know what I mean? I can't say 100%. I wouldn't agree here and say, obviously, experience versus facts here. I would be very frank with you. There's a fact. If the rules are the rules, the policy is a policy, irrespective of you being white or black, so long as we always uphold that policy and it's across the board, it upholds to everybody, I've got no problem with that. If there's broken policies where the policy was meant to be a certain way and it got broken, that's completely different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Alex, on that one, you're not entitled to...
I
don't care about her feelings.
Okay,
if
but
the
what
fact is wrong.
concerns me more is the comment about the colour of the baby's skin.
Right.
Okay. We all feel passionate about different things.
Yeah.
Okay. We've not even spoken about the mental health and all of that.
Well, we're coming to that.
Well, we'll come to that. But it's really important that we have these conversations, because what I've noticed on Twitter, particularly over the last few days, is that this interview and what's happening with the royal family, the ripple effect is huge.
Huge.
To the point where me and you are on here, and we feel so passionately about it, and it's great.
I genuinely feel...
And I want to talk about it, and I do feel as though, of course, if we find out who it is, I'm sure, you will be right behind me, and I'll be right behind you, talking about how wrong it is and how,
No question.
Work colleague, not of this show.
Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know where we left it.
It is. I don't want to cast... The aspersions are being cast because they won't say. The sky's blue outside. The rules of the palace. Set by...
Guys.
OK? We all feel passionate about different things. Yeah. Okay? It's huge.
Huge.
To the point where me and you are on here, and we feel so passionately about it, and it's great.
I genuinely feel...
And I want to talk about it, and I do feel as though, of course, if we find out who it is, I'm sure, you will be right behind me, and I'll be right behind you. Yeah,
He knows he won't. He knows he won't. Look at his face. Just look at his face. That is a face of a man who's not going to be right behind you. He will defend the honour of the monarchy before you and your black self.
Talking about how wrong it is and how,
No question.
No question whatsoever. But what I find is that people are don't always want to accept that it's a possibility that something like this has happened. And this is the thing with racism, right? Racism isn't always caught on camera. Racism isn't always a black man led on the floor with a white police officer's knee in his neck. Mm-hmm. It comes in all different shapes or forms. What I want to see is the same energy that we had back in the summer right now.
Jeez! Alex Perez came correct with the... What I want to see is the same energy. Are you okay or are you okay, brother? Yes, Alex, just summoned in the dark chi blood. Okay, I'm Christian, I shouldn't be saying that. But he just summoned that force and said, no, brother, let me bring it to you correct and say, you need to summon that. He said, listen, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. You understand?
But, okay, but let me just put a little dampener on.
No, see, that's why I said Piers will never back you. Look, let me put a little dampener. What's the dampener? The guy said, keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Bro, you got this, all this, like this. All I'm saying is keep the same energy, but you want to flip it again. Why? Because he doesn't want to keep the same energy. Doesn't want to.
On this, right? One of the two charges of racism, perhaps the most incendiary, that actually he was being discriminated against because the Queen decides all the titles. So what she was basically saying is the Queen's a racist who stopped Archie being a prince because of his skin colour.
And maybe she is. And maybe she is. Okay? Yeah, she might have indirected her in a certain way. And maybe she is. Is that not a possibility? Don't get gassed because they do the waving thing every night, blood. Do you understand? I'm not gassed because you do the waving thing every night. I'm not gassed because you have a common... Like, I should look at your Commonwealth and look at it and go, do you not think you having a Commonwealth in itself was kind of racist? The fact that you conquered other nations and you're proud to say we've got a Commonwealth. Where's our Commonwealth here? Where is the Commonwealth? Where is our riches that you've taken from our lands and given it back to us? Where is it? You have museums full of other countries' stuff. Why is it in your museum? Don't give me that bollocks. We don't want to hear the bollocks. You understand? Yeah, we don't want to hear the bollocks, bro. You understand? Kellogg Tinkers.
We know that is completely untrue.
So I don't know that the Queen's a racist. I would like to think that the Queen is not a racist.
Right.
I don't think she is a racist.
My point is that
he said that's completely untrue. How do you know that? You don't know that. You do not know that. You are not black yourself, Piers. Don't open your mouth on black experience, okay? Keep it quiet. Keep it stum.
Okay, but he's obviously got a difficult relationship.
No, but Alex,
this is no ordinary family, Piers, because I know. As we heard from the.
But Alex, do you
yesterday,
accept on that point Meghan just got it wrong?
Like I said, I am not an expert on royal protocols. Right. I am not an expert.
But the experts who are have all said unanimously.
They've all said, but again, they've said something different. Piers,
I haven't said something different.
I'm happy to listen to both sides. Well, they feel a certain way. They feel that Archie hasn't been given a title because of the colour of his skin.
Prince William.
We know that's not true.
Well, hang on a moment. So Prince.
But you don't know that it's not true. No, think about
it.
Can we just talk about this particular fact?
If we think about the possibility that what they're saying is true and that they were worried about how dark Archie would be, it's also a possibility that they might not want him to be a prince. They might not want him to have a title. And the thing is, shock horror, these things happen in life. Unfortunately, this is the way it goes sometimes. Everyone's acting like they're fully surprised. I can't say that I'm fully surprised to hear these allegations, you know, and it is important to, you know, to realise that sometimes, you know what, we don't even know we've got these problems in our family. You might have an all-white family, and one day someone of colour walks in.
I would love that.
And you find out. I know.
I would love that. Christian Goddard yesterday said to me, wait until one of your sons marries a black woman. I was like, I would love that.
And do you know what, Piers? I wouldn't be surprised if one of your sons.
I would not be happy if he married one of the black women. The way he talks about Meghan Markle, you think I want you around a black woman, bruv? The way you spoke about Meghan Markle, you think I want you around black women? You're moving the maddest. You're moving the absolute maddest. I don't want you around any woman. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want you around any woman.
What part of your knowledge of me would think I wouldn't embrace and welcome?
Piers, but the thing is, I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. We have conversations on the show. We have conversations off the show. Okay, and I don't feel that you are a racist. I'm sorry. And if people say to me, Piers Morgan, I will 100% say.
I don't have a racist bone in my body.
But because I'm judging you on my experience of you, and my experience of you is not that.
Right.
Okay.
But that's why I just feel as though the stance that you were taking on it yesterday was so strong. I just feel that it was slightly clouded by the fact that you've had an experience with her, and actually what this is really about is the fact that you don't like Meghan Markle, and that's okay. And you know what? And it's okay that Meghan Markle might not be perfect.
All that did,
it's
and let me just stress
she might be a little bit difficult.
I did not know her that well. All it did was inform me that she has a bit of a streak in her where she cuts people out of her life when she moves on. That's fine. She's entitled to do that. But she's done it to her whole family apart from her mum. We've got her dad coming on now.
So she's done it to everybody but her mum. Why? I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. And the people that she cut out, what race were they? Shock and horror, they were white. Shock and horror, they were white. That should let you know. And she cut you out too? Well.
Been disowned. You know, she's got a track record of it, which I just personally find is informative about her personality.
And I don't understand, why would you not cut off an ex-husband? I don't understand why you need an ex-husband in your life. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of a madness. Anyway, guys, listen, I thought I'd review it. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button. I appreciate you, man. And stay hydrated. Appreciate you guys, man. Do.